I mean, that's what they do on some. And this is something that I've said for like a long time. Like the Thanos gauntlet, right? We are going from a one token religion to a multiple. We're going to a pantheon of gods, right? And like this is like the schism that I like. I don't know why you got so much shit for saying that. That's crazy. Would you said it on Twitter, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Twitter and
yeah.
YouTube.
Okay, yeah, because I've said this on YouTube for a long time. I must be that's why I like using props and stuff because people understand better with like when you have props and stuff. So it's
Well,
like
I mean,
yeah, yeah, the tiara and stuff. Why do you have a tiara on?
okay. Do you want to know the story? It's great, actually. Okay,
Sure.
so I was doing building bridges at the time, and it was early, and I had asked Ben Armstrong to come on to the stream. And before I was getting ready, I was writing questions, and then I remembered something that Richard said, which is like most of the YouTubers, most of the like people, crypto people who produce content don't put enough effort into the aesthetic. So like they've got, clutter on the shelves behind them. They don't take time to like look good. And that was one thing that he did different, right? Like he had, he's got the throne and the watch spinners at the time and the crystal whatever things, all the Richard aesthetics. Then I was like, oh, okay, I should do that, right? Like I should do the female version of that. And I only had like an hour, but I like put together this background. It was different than this, but I had like a hexagonal shelves hanging on the wall behind me. Some like things that looked pretty on camera. And then I was like, okay, now what about myself? And I was like, okay, I'll find the sparkliest jewelry that I can find. And I found it was this tiara. It was one that I bought for my daughter at Disneyland. And so I grabbed like this tiara, a really sparkly, necklace and bracelets. And then after that stream, okay, the stream got tons of views. It was more views than I had ever gotten before. And that was largely, obviously, because I had Ben and he was, a big popular influencer who people followed. But afterwards, I got like tons of DMs from people who said, my wife, she normally doesn't like any of the crypto content that I had on YouTube, but she walked by and she saw your tiara and she was like, oh, who's this pretty girl in this tiara? And she like sat down and watched the whole thing. Or like my daughter was always like asking who that princess girl is. So then I just, yeah. So every time I stream, I now wear a tiara, and then I've gotten like more tiaras so that there was a variety because I was streaming a couple of times a week for a while.
Yeah. So I mean, hey, I mean, if it works, I mean, you need it works. It really does. Like I really do think that adding some. I mean, that's why I always have like all kinds of stuff in the background and things like this. Like people want to see that stuff and they relate to something. That's why I got Pokemon. I got these giant Pokemon cards around here and stuff like this because people collect. I mean, I got Brawly on the computer and stuff, so it all makes sense and stuff. So
you commented, I think before we were live, about my chair, right? That like the chair works. It works with the whole.
I mean, this is why you have the candelabra with like red or green candles with Richard. He has a fucking throne. He has like crystals in the background. Yeah, everyone uses stuff to accessorize, but also to people to relate to it or like aspire. It all depends on what you're trying to convey, basically.
Yeah, and all I was doing was trying to get more people to watch.